Okay, welcome back. It is 8/3 of 2015. We're going to take a look again at Aristotle through the eyes and the mind of Franz Brentano. And if you look at the first moment, he discusses being in itself. The divine intellect is the inherent necessary being and the foundation for all finite beings. The divine intellect is given in existence as an object. It is always mediated through an object. And we penetrate this mediation through Sophia wisdom. Now, Sophia wisdom is understanding, and it's understanding that has been informed by epistemology, or the expertise in interpreting the truth. And so we end up with also contrasting that with phronesis. And phronesis is strictly the initial foresight, or it's our intentionality stance at Aristotle's Decunta threshold concerning wisdom and the wisdom we seek to acquire, but phronesis is our initial intentional stance toward wisdom. So basically he gives us a triad within a triad, and he says that we reach Sophia wisdom by beginning with our phronetic stance at the Decunta threshold, taking up a true epistemology, which seeks an expertise in interpreting truth as that divine intellect behind all sensate reality, and then we can reach a new understanding through Sophia wisdom. So it's a triad of phronesis, episteme, and Sophia. Now in the second moment, he addresses how we apprehend that universality of a backdrop, or the universality of an enclosure of being behind finite being, or sensate presentation. And he says that being in general is the object of presentation for the divine intellect. And even if you took all of the sensate objects and grouped them together as a dynamic organic whole, as a sum bibadzo, even as a sum bibadzo, being does not, as an organic whole, does not equal being in itself. A being in itself universality would be that which informs any organic holistic boundary that we form in sensate reality. He says that we do take up three modalities of perceiving within the sensate realm of concreto, and that is adion, aestheterion, which is sensing with a singular organ of sense, or koinon aestheterion, which combines a communal organization of senses, liquid sensing, motion, and rest, and it's sum bibadzo aestheterion, which is associative sensing. So there's the individual, the communal, and the associative perception that we employ here in the realm of secondary presentation. We do reach, even at the level of concreto, we do reach forming generalizations. The object of sensing is never the primary external object. The object that stimulates becomes the true sensing object. And we can take that object that stimulates and we can form it into a generalization, or what is called a concreto stimulated sign for the external object. And so we can form what Brentano labels topoids, or generalizations that are in their proper place, topoids. But once we reach this network of generalizations, we want to raise the concreto stimulated generalizations to the aspect of becoming true signs, true significations of a deeper content. And so how do we address this issue of raising generalization to signification? We're going to do it dualistically, and through syllogism, and through induction. And basically, dualistically, we will address two areas of completion: pleirosis, the filling of the content of a generalization with its true spiritual maturity, and teleosis, understanding a generalization within the temporal continuum of eschatological time, will help us to grasp its deeper signification. Now we also employ syllogism, We employ the analysis of syllogism to raise generalizations to signification. And syllogisms are a fruitful, evolving syllogism, which means that the conclusion does introduce something new that was not present in the two first judgments. The conclusion is based on the premise of two separate certain judgments, but the conclusion always introduces something entirely new that was not contained in the two prior certain judgments. We also employ induction, which is analytically ascertaining possibility by examining the increasing number of cases of the event. So we do end up raising our topoids to a network of elementary concepts. The network of elementary concepts means the network of signs. So we do raise topoids to signification by evaluating them dualistically and analyzing them through syllogism, and then employing induction. So we acquire a network of signs. We no longer have a network of topoids, we have a network of signs, and we want to arrange them into an interrelated model. We want to now address interrelatedness. We've addressed content. We've addressed, initially, at a sensate level, we've addressed place. But now we want to address place within an eschatological temporal continuum and develop a true eschatological model of an interrelated model of the network of signs. We need to work on classifying the signs so we can arrange them into major categories and subsystems, major concepts and subsystem concepts that can be arranged in a larger interrelated sign model. So we have to work on classification according to place, according to category, according to the trajectory or its determination, and according to its substance of the true. So we do classify according to place, according to unity and multiplicity, and according to spatial size and figure, and according to motion and rest. Aristotle says there are 10 primary categories of substance, quantity, quality, relation, place, time, action, affection, posture, and being dressed, and we will address those as we go along. But there are major categorical areas that abbreviate concepts or subsystems. We do address the trajectory, the eschatological trajectory of every sign in order to find its place in the eschatological overarching sign model. And then we do address the notion of the true, both with regard to the overarching truth that encloses all the signs of truth, and that helps us also to make that arrangement of an interrelated sign model. So we do address the substance of the true with regard to the content of each individual true sign, and with regard to the truth of the teleosis trajectory overall. So classification takes a look at eschatological place, eschatological category and subsystem, and its true trajectory for each individual sign and for the holistic model of signs, and how that all addresses the concept of truth with regard to the filling of spiritual content for each true sign and for the filling of content for the overall sign model. So it is an involved system, but it does always address pleirosis and teleosis. It's always a spiritual content for each individual sign, and also the overall trajectory, eschatological trajectory of the temporal continuum, which is always posited in this second moment. We're no longer simply in spatial continuum. In the second moment, we take up temporal continuum, and we take up eschatological trajectory, and we can lift topoids to signification, while at the same time addressing pleirosis and teleosis. So it gives us quite a bit better look from what we had in the first talk. But we do have the additional little triad over there of our model for Sophia of phronesis, episteme, and then Sophia. And then we enlist that Sophia wisdom and we work on lifting those generalizations to signification, and then lifting the significations to interrelatedness and sign model, which reflects a temporal continuum and not simply a spatial continuum. So the second talk gives us quite a bit more detail, and it takes us up through page 38.